My name is Keaton Merrick. I am 29, the youngest mistake in a dynasty of Southern perfectionists. Born too late to matter, too quiet to lead. They always said Quincy was made for the spotlight, and I was made for silence. Funny how silence can hold more power than a megaphone. The storm outside cracked like a whip when I opened the drawer. It was the kind of drawer you'd only find in an old money house, mahogany, carved edges, lined with velvet, and protected by a hidden catch only someone like my father would design. A man who never believed in banks, but trusted secrets sealed in wood and brass. Behind the panel I found it. One brown envelope. Thick, unmarked. Inside, legal documents. A newly revised will. Power of attorney. All dated just 3 weeks before my father's heart attack. All signed. All stamped. All with my name. My hand shook. The chair behind me scraped the floor as I stumbled back. Every asset, every share, every inch of Merrick timber and holdings transferred to me. And it wasn't just wealth. It was responsibility. It was power, the kind people kill for. I read the fine print twice, heart hammering in my throat. The documents needed to be filed tonight. A clause in the legacy trust expired at 2 a.m. After that, the will would default to the previous version, one that handed everything to Quincy. A storm, a clock, a race. I called Quincy, straight to voicemail. Then came the message. Don't worry about the will. I'll take care of everything. Just bring it to the law firm downtown. Tonight. Alone. No punctuation. No quorums. Just. Final. I haven't driven since the crash 5 years ago. So I did the only thing I could. I booked a rideshare. Midnight. Rain tapping the windows like fingers counting down. At 1:08 a.m., a black sedan rolled to a stop outside the mansion gates. No logos. No ID. The man behind the wheel didn't look up. Just unlocked the door. Not the same face as the app. No photo. No name badge. Just a buzz-cut leather gloves and a jaw clenched so tight it looked carved from granite. I hesitated. Then I stepped in. The door locked behind me with a soft click. The car pulled away from the gates and disappeared into the drenched night. Silence filled the cabin. No music. No small talk. No screen up front. The driver kept his eyes forward, knuckles pale against the wheel. I tried to speak. He raised one hand. Just one. Don't, he muttered. Not yet. The highway stretched out like a dead artery. The wipers danced across the windshield, the rhythm too perfect. I checked my phone. No service. No signal. I leaned forward. Hey, can I ask? He spoke fast. Clipped. You got that will in your jacket. I froze. How do you know? He tapped the rearview mirror. His voice low. Steady. Because someone's following us. Black SUV. Since the gates. I turned. Headlights. Distant. But there. My mouth dried. I'll pull over at the old terminal near the airport, he said. Looks abandoned. But not tonight. I swallowed hard. Why there? His eyes met mine in the mirror. Because that's where they're waiting for you. The SUV drew closer. My breathing sped. I grabbed the door handle. No, he said sharply. Don't get out here. I hesitated. Trust me. Just wait 5 minutes. The airport lights were a mile out when the car veered off the main road. Not the regular entrance. Not departures. A cracked lane, almost hidden under overgrown branches and broken signage. The rain hit harder now, sharp needles against the glass. We passed what looked like a rusting hangar, graffiti scrawled across its flaking metal walls. Where the hell are we? I asked. The driver's voice was flat. Back gate. Cargo terminal. No security. No cameras. You said someone's waiting for me here. His grip on the wheel tightened. They were planning to make it look like a mugging. Quick. Quiet. You'd go missing for a while. By the time anyone noticed, that envelope would be long gone. I looked down at the documents. Still zipped in my inner jacket. Still warm from my chest. What do you want from me? I asked. His eyes flicked to mine in the rear view. Nothing. I owe your father. Cut scene. The car slowed behind a wide column. Old concrete. Probably built before I was born. Just beyond it I caught movement. A shape. Low to the ground. Crouched. A man. He was holding something. Something long, reflective. Not a gun. A knife. Adrenaline crashed into me like cold water. I reached for the door handle. He hit the locks again. No. My breath was shallow. My fingers trembled. He's here, the driver said calmly. Give it 10 seconds. I counted in my head. 8, 6, 2. A roar of engines shattered the silence. Red and blue lights exploded through the fog. 3 cruisers screamed in, tires sliding over slick asphalt. One of the floodlights blinded the man by the pillar he bolted. Too late. For officers tackled him in under 3 seconds. The knife hit the ground. A gloved hand clutched at air. He screamed once, then was silenced by a knee to the back. The driver exhaled. That, he muttered, was 5 minutes. You said frozen. You could have told me. I did. Cut scene. They pulled the man upright. I saw his face. Early 30s, sunken cheeks, eyes too sharp. He looked familiar, but not from life, from photos. From the Merrick files. Quincy's personal assistant. Ex-military. Quiet. Disciplined. The kind of man who disappears until someone needs something illegal. The kind of man who didn't act without orders. I turned. Who are you? The driver didn't answer. Instead, he reached into the glove box and handed me a folded card. Black mat. No writing on the front. Inside, 1 sentence. If this finds you, I'm already gone. Trust Cole. He's the only one I ever trusted with you. It was signed in familiar ink. A signature I'd seen on checks, letters, Christmas cards. My father's. I stared at the paper until it blurred. Your name's Cole. I whispered. Cole Asher. Your father hired me years ago. Under one condition. I don't make contact unless you're in mortal danger. He believed Quincy would snap eventually. I blinked. You're telling me. He knew this would happen. He suspected. Your father always said, wealth doesn't change people. It just reveals which part of them was already rotten. Cut scene. A second police vehicle pulled up. Not patrol. Tactical. An officer stepped out and approached the window. You Keaton Merrick? I nodded. You'll need to come with us. The man we just arrested. He's not the only one involved. There's chatter about coordinated activity. Financial forgery. Attempted asset seizure. He hesitated. And possible plans to disappear you. Permanently. I felt the sweat behind my neck. Asher leaned in. We'll take him to the safe house. The officer nodded. Agreed. Quiet route. I got out slowly. Cold air slapped my face. My legs wobbled under me. This wasn't paranoia. This was real. People I knew, blood relatives, had tried to erase me. Not for who I was, but for what I'd inherited. Why tonight? I asked more to myself. Asher answered anyway. Because tonight was the deadline. And desperate men always bet everything when the clock's almost out. We pulled away from the scene. Flashing lights in the mirror. My fingers wouldn't stop shaking. I stared out at the terminal windows, watching planes take off into the night. What kind of family sets a trap at an airport, hires a killer, and forges a future on your grave? Apparently mine. Keith stared at the open door. So if I had stepped out, Asher looked him dead in the eyes. You wouldn't be breathing now. I didn't sleep. Not in the car. Not at the safe house. Not even after the agent with the soft voice and dead eyes assured me the perimeter was secure and the locks were reinforced with federal-grade steel. "You're safe here," she said. "But nothing feels safe when your own brother just tried to have you killed with a knife in an airport terminal. Safe is a lie people tell themselves when they run out of ways to fight," I whispered, staring at the deadbolt. The clock read 4:17 a.m. I sat on the edge of the narrow bed. Still in the clothes I'd fled in. The envelope, now locked in a fireproof case beside the nightstand, throbbed like a buried heart. I kept hearing my father's voice in my head. "If someone close to you suddenly changes, don't ask what. Ask who's behind it." Cut scene. Cole came back around sunrise. Mud on his boots. Coffee in his hand. No words. He handed me the cup. I didn't drink it. "What now?" I asked. "We go to Nolan." Neylan Pache. Merrick family lawyer for 2 decades. He drafted the new will. Loyal. Precise. A man who once told me, "Paper is the only thing stronger than blood in this family." But I hadn't heard from him in weeks. Radio silence. I frowned. "You trust him?" "I trust he's scared enough to do the right thing." We drove out of the woods in a black SUV with templates and a scrambled GPS. Cole said it was a burner car. Clean. No tegues. He kept his hand near his side the whole ride. "Eyes on mirrors," he said. "Every 15 seconds. Like a prayer." I did. Cut scene. Nolan's office was in a converted church building on the edge of downtown. White brick. Stained glass. Security cameras tucked under angel statues. Because nothing says holiness like corporate law. He buzzed us in. The smell hit me first. Old paper. Lemon polish. And something else metallic faint. Like blood. Nolan stood behind his desk stiff. Suit wrinkled. Skin pale. Hands twitching near a stack of legal files. "You shouldn't be here," he said without looking up. I stepped closer. "You drafted that will," I said. "You knew about the clause. Why didn't you warn me?" "I tried. Quincy got ahead of me." Cole moved first. In one motion. He swept the desk clear and slammed the case down. Opened it. "Let the documents speak." Nolan paled further. "You need to file it today," he muttered. "Clerk's office. Before 2 p.m. "I know," I said. "And you're coming with us." "No. Either you walk with me now, or I walk out and tell the Bar Association you forged half my inheritance with a man who just hired a killer." Silence. He grabbed his coat. Cut scene. We moved fast. Nolan filed the documents. Clerk stamped them. We got a receipt. It was done. Legal. Final. My father's last wish, realized. That should have been the end. But 20 minutes later, Nolan's phone buzzed. One word on the screen. Run. Before he could even process it, a black SUV slammed into the side of ours at an intersection. Glass exploded. Tires screamed. Cole pulled me out by the collar. Sirens. Shots. I dropped to the pavement, knees bleeding. Behind us, 2 masked men leapt from the SUV. One with a crowbar, the other with a gun. I crawled behind a dumpster. Cole fired twice. One man went down. The other vanished. We pulled Nolan into the alley. Blood on his forehead. They knew, Cole growled. They knew the second we left. How? I gasped. He didn't answer, just looked at Nolan. The lawyer blinked. His voice shook. There's a mole in your father's old firm, he said. Someone who sold information. But I never knew who. I stared at him. Then I remembered something. My mother's housekeeper, Alondra. She'd been with us 20 years. Sweet, quiet, but she'd been asking about documents lately. Filing dates, legal routines. I looked at Cole. We need to go. Now. To Alondra? No. To my father's old vault. If Quincy's trying to erase me, he won't stop at inheritance. He'll rewrite the past, too. Cole checked his weapon. 1 hour, he said. The clock was ticking again. Nolan slumped against the alley wall, eyes wide with panic. "Wait," he croaked. "There's something else. Something your father told me before he died." Cole stopped. I turned. Nolan's mouth trembled. "Your father. He didn't die from the heart attack." Silence. I stepped closer. "What are you talking about?" His lips moved. "He was poisoned. Traces of digoxin. They never tested for it. And the only one with access to his medication drawer was—" He didn't need to finish the sentence. My blood went cold. "Quincy." "No," Nolan said, shaking. "Your mother." I didn't speak for almost a full minute. My mother. The woman who ironed my shirts until I was 27. Who left tea on my nightstand every Sunday. Who told me that monsters weren't real, they were just people who forgot they had hearts. And now Nolan said she poisoned the man she built a legacy with. I stared down at my palms, unsure whether they were sweating or bleeding. Maybe both. "There's no way," I whispered. Nolan nodded once. Digoxin in his heart meds. I only found out after the toxicology report was leaked. Quietly. Internally. It was supposed to disappear. Cole's voice was flat. "Then why didn't it?" Nolan hesitated. "Because someone wanted it to be found. Just not yet." Cut scene. We drove back to the Merrick estate under silence thick as tar. Every turn felt like a trap. Every headlight behind us felt too close. I kept thinking, who benefits if my father dies? And worse, who benefits if I do? The gates opened. Same security code as always. That bothered me. Inside, the house was too quiet, too clean, like it had been staged. Cole checked every room. I went straight for the vault. Behind the library, through the false wall. Fingerprint scan, then retina, then a 4-digit code. 1979. The year he founded the company. The door hissed open. Stacks of documents, tax filings, safe deposit keys, photos of my grandfather standing beside oil rigs and politicians. And in the center, an unsealed envelope, addressed to me. I ripped it open. One sheet. Typed, "Keaton, if you're reading this, I'm either dead or betrayed or both. I left the company to you not because you're the strongest, but because you're the only one who still listens. The others only hear themselves." My breath hitched. There's more buried than oil in this family. Follow the red tape. Find AMC Holdings. And Keaton, don't trust your blood. Trust paper. No signature. No goodvie. Just that. Cole looked over my shoulder. "AMC." "Don't know," I said. "But I'm about to." Cut scene. We traced AMC to an offshore shell buried under 3 layers of holding companies in Delaware and the Cayman Islands. On paper, it was a shipping logistics firm. In reality, it was a funnel. For what? Illegal land deals, bribes, stock manipulation. And all the signatures matched one name, Quincy. But something was off. One signature stood out. Sloppy, rushed, recent. My mother's. Cole leaned in. "She signed off on the trust disbursement 2 days before your father's heart attack." "She knew," I said, voice cracking. "She knew he was going to die. Or she made sure." That's when the email came. No sender. No subject. Just a PDF attachment. I opened it. Footage. Security cam, black and white, low res. My father, slumped at the foot of the stairs, unmoving. Then, from the shadows, a figure stepped forward. Woman. Hub. Gloves. She leaned down, took his phone, then calmly walked away. The timestamp read 1:42 a.m. Exactly 21 minutes before my mother called 911. I dropped the phone. Cole picked it up. "She watched him die." "She let him die," I said. "No, no l'han corrected. She needed him to die." Cut scene. That night, we broke into her private wing of the estate. locked drawers, burned journals, and one USB drive labeled in black ink. AMC, final, red line. Inside emails, audio files, financial trails. But one folder was encrypted. I tried my father's password. Nothing. Cole tried the company code. Nothing. Then Nolan said, "Try your birthday." It worked. Inside that folder, a scanned document, a signed confession. Not my mother's. My father's. A page-long affidavit detailing how he helped cover up a land grab that displaced hundreds of families in 1986. How he forged environmental permits. How he blackmailed a senator to keep it buried. And he blamed it all on one man. Nolan Pace. I turned slow. Nolan backed up, hands raised. "That's not real. He made me do it. He was protecting himself." "You lied," I said. "I had to." Cole raised his weapon. "You're the leak," he growled. Nolan's face twisted. He was going to ruin everything. I warned Quincy. I told him to scare you, not kill you. I took a step forward. "You chose the wrong brother to protect." From behind me, the door creaked. Another figure stepped in. Elegant. Poised. My mother. "Boys," she said, calm as the eye of a hurricane, "let's not do this here." And that's when I saw it. A revolver in her left hand. The gun clacked. Heavy. Metal on wood. My mother's hand didn't shake. Cole moved before I could blink. One clean motion. A twist of his wrist. The revolver clattered to the floor. "Drop it," he hissed. She stared at him. Quiet. A face carved by ice. "I raised you," she said, voice calm as a coffin lid. "I nourished your doubts. I sculpted the knife's shadow behind every handshake." Cut scene. She turned. Eyes flicked to the library door. Footsteps vanished. Nolan backed up. Shock. Fear. Regret. I lunged for the envelope box. Locked. Fireproof. Inside, photos. Contracts. Signed receipts. The house creaked. Wind rattled windows. Storm clung to the walls. "She didn't leave alone," Cole said suddenly. "Cars still in the drive, but the passport file? Gone." I pounded the palm of my hand against the wood. Rage tasted like metal. "Then we chase." Cut. We reached my father's old warehouse under midnight rain. Corrugated iron sagging. A skeleton of beams. Windows smashed long ago. I pulled the door open. Roost squealed. Water dripped. Inside, darkness. Vines crept over office desks. Mice scattered. Papers lay scattered. Old deeds, titles, worthless shells. Cole's flashlight beam cut through gloom. Then froze. A safe hidden behind a false wall. The door cracked open on hinges like a tomb. Inside, folders, ledgers, bank account printouts, offshore transfers, screenshots, hard evidence. My father's warnings lay bare in ink. I slid a folder out. Cold. Heavy. Somewhere between a confession and an obituary. Footsteps echoed behind us. Masks. 2 men. Black clothes. Gloves. Cole cursed under his breath. His hand dropped to the gun at his hip. I read a single line in the ledger. My name. As signature. Forged. Bloodlines don't guarantee loyalty, they guarantee liability, I remembered thinking once. Felt it now like acid in my throat. The masked figures advanced. Flash, a spotlight from outside. Red. Blue. Sirens wailing. SWAT. Tactical vests. Guns aimed. Chaos ignited. One man tried to scramble out a broken window. Cole shot first. Stagger. Down. The second turned on his heel. Fled. I stiffened. My breath short. Heart thrashing. The safe's papers fluttered under floodlights. Truth spilled like water. Behind me, a clicking noise. A door. She stepped in. My mother. Tall coat, collar high. Calm as dusk. Hands empty. Her eyes dark hollows. You found what I couldn't swallow, she said. Soft. Deadly. Then the second man, the one who ran, burst back, gun raised. Move, he spat. But he didn't, because her voice was a whip. Don't. He froze. Rain pounded on the rusty roof. Dripped through holes. Echoed. I raised my hands. It's over. She shrugged as if tired. Over. Her laugh cracked like glass. A second later, the rooftop skylight broke. A body dropped in. Bullets. Lightning from above. Kill dove. I covered. The second gunman fell, a shadow against the wall. Movement from the false wall safe. A hand, quick. Metallic. A blade. I bolted. But the warehouse doors slammed shut, locked by remote. No exit. No help. Then light. Blinding. A chant in unison. Police! Freeze! They stormed. Helmets. Flashbangs. Tear gas. Chaos collapsed into order in seconds. Handcuffs. Orders. Shouts. Thunder of boots. Mother lifted her head. Calm. Holding a bag of documents. Take them, she said softly. They prove nothing. Then she vanished. Another cut. Rain outside. Sirens distant. Cole crouched beside me. Gun lowered. Nolan was escorted away by officers shaking mortified. The masked men lay still. Unmasked. Identity. Quincy's associates. Ex-cons. Paid killers. Evidence sealed. Bags tagged. Intent to kidnap. /murder/fraud. Detective Vaughn flicked a thin file to me. Your father's death. Wrong cause. Poison. Opens investigation. Full audit on AMC Holdings. Warrants ready. I exhaled hard. Paper in hand. Proof. But emptiness followed. Because the woman who pulled the trigger, figuratively or not, was still out there. Lightning cut the sky. I realized I had won and lost in the same breath. I stepped into the rain. The case was closed. The body count frozen at 0. But one name still hunted me. The one who raised me. She was still free. And I knew she was watching. Sunlight split through the blinds, painting stripes across the courtroom floor. Cameras flashed. Reporters whispered. My name echoed on every lip. They read the charges: fraud, conspiracy, attempted murder, forgery, racketeering. Faces propped by fear, scandal, greed. I stood tall, quiet. Beside me, Cole and Detective Vaughn watched. My documents, ledger sheets, offshore accounts, voicemail confession, poison report, stacked in front of the judge. Every signature matched. Every crime traceable. A verdict followed within hours. Guilty on all counts. Quincy, Iris, their hired men. Sentenced. Bonds revoked. Assets frozen. A long metal clack. Handcuffs. Chains. Doors closing behind them like a tomb sealing its lid. Cut scene. Outside the court, rain began. Soft. Cold. Cleansing. I didn't feel relief. Not yet. Not while justice came at such a cost. Cole slipped me an envelope. Inside, deeds to the estate, company shares, a notarized trust document naming me as sole heir. Valid, legitimate, irrevocable. It was mine, but I didn't take it. Instead, I burned it. In the old warehouse yard. Flames ate paper fast. Smoke curled into a gray dawn. Because inheritance built on poison, lies, and betrayal wasn't a legacy I wanted to carry. A lawyer once told me, true power lies not in what you own, but in what you walk away from. I remembered that. I walked. Cut scene. I moved the company headquarters downtown. A lean office block. Open windows. Transparent glass. No mahogany. No secrets behind locked doors. Employees changed. Policies changed. I made one commandment. No debts. No chills. No sados. Old names faded. New ones sprang. Work was honest. Clean. The kind that didn't cost lives. At night, I'd stand by the window watching city lights. Reflecting. I thought of my father. His ambition. His downfall. I thought of trust, betrayal, family. I thought of how people used to whisper, "Keat, you're the spare, the weak one." I swallowed hard, then I said aloud, slow, "Weak is what you claim me when I obey. Strong is what you see when I don't." Cut scene. A letter arrived. Unmarked. No stamp. Just a single sentence. "This door doesn't close you. It locks someone else in." I didn't reply. I shredded it. I didn't need it. Because I walked outside. Into the daylight. Into a life I chose. Rain fell again. Late. Clean. I closed my eyes. Breathed deep. Freed myself.